You're going to hear that voice again right now. That's Beth Payne, Wilson
Hi.
Lofts. How's he doing, Beth?
I'm well. Thanks again for having me.
Glad to have you in the studio once again. Of course, we talked to you just before you had your Biz After 5.
Yes.
Things were just getting underway. How has it been going?
It's going very well. A lot of activity buzzing. The apartments, man, we're filling up, and that's great. You know, we have a lot of interest. Continuing for people who are relocating to Clinton, Iowa, getting used to the community and really loving the downtown. And so, we're really anxious to get that filled. And today we're specifically going to be talking to you about the incubator spaces within Clinton Culinary and Makers on 5th, which I'm happy to have my friend Anna Zimmerman here, our first incubator tenant known as GEOME and Makers on 5th.
All right, GEOME. I was wondering how that was pronounced. I kind of figured that was it. But Anna, we've had you on the show before. Was it last year? About what time was it?
Oh, it was June. It was June, and we had a pop-up shop, kind of testing the waters, and it went really well. And then we've been in search for location to rent, and Beth has filled that wonderfully.
I get you to move just a little closer to the microphone. Okay, thank you so much.
Yes.
So you were in town last year. What is it again that you do all offer?
I hand make jewelry, custom jewelry, designer, untraditional focused jewelry, and I'll also have plants in my store with select home goods and a variety of other handmade objects.
So you're right there in the Wilson building.
Yes.
So people walk in the door. Do they turn left? Do they turn right? What are they going to do?
They're gonna turn right. I'm the main window space.
Okay.
I have all the windows. It's lovely. It's perfect.
Well, good.
Yeah.
So when did you move in?
We took possession
In September.
In September.
Yep,
yes.
we signed the lease in September, and then
Yes.
she did a little pop-up shop, just kind of like a preview for the Biz After 5, and has been slowly but surely working to fill her space.
Yes.
It was phenomenally filled, even just for the little preview that she offered to us. And not only to talk about that, but when Anna talks about her jewelry, my first real experience with it was at the Biz After 5 event, and to say that it's beautiful is an understatement. I know that when I do my shopping for people for unique gifts, you know, you can go to any jewelry store on any corner, but when you shop at GEOME and Anna, you know that you're not only going to get something that's totally unique, handmade, but also locally made. And so that means a lot to us as a development company, and also to really help grow businesses. And as a perfect example of exactly what we're trying to support within the Makers on 5th.
Anna, how did this all get started for you? I mean, making the jewelry, wanting to do something like this.
I went to college for fine arts and emphasized in metalsmithing. And then after college, I worked with a local designer, small business owner, kind of studied under her for a while. And then after several years, I worked for a larger, more corporate jewelry store in Des Moines, kind of continued my education learning, and then 7 years ago in October, actually, I went off on my own. So I've been doing the online and art show route, and then now is the time to finally open up the brick and mortar. So we're really excited.
Well, that is great to hear. Let's talk a little bit about, I mean, it's such a step to open your own business.
Yeah.
You did this about 7 years ago now.
Yes.
So what are some of the rewards? What are some of the risks of doing something like this?
I love being my own boss. I like working for myself, but it's, you know, going off on your own, like you're alone, and there's not like the resources or the extra help. But what's nice about Makers on 5th is they've really partnered and helped with a lot of different aspects, and even just making like opening the store space like really easy and simple, which is really helpful because I'm not on my own anymore. Like they're there as a great resource to help. They've done promotions and marketing for me and have kind of given me tips and ideas, and so it's nice. Now I'm not on my own. Like I've been doing it on my own, and now it's like, okay, I have there is a partnership with Makers on 5th, so it's a great experience.
Again, visiting with Anna Zimmerman, GEOME on one of the Maker on 5th. How'd you come up with that name?
I was really, it was during the height of the pandemic when I came up with this idea to really support incubator spaces in downtown Clinton. We are not we're not unknown to the retail incubator world. We've developed our first retail incubator in our home community of Rock Island, Illinois, known as Shops on Second. And we've kind of like over 12 years of experience working with those small businesses and really coming up with something. We knew that we wanted to have a vision for the Wilson Lofts to really support the locally owned places. So of course, like locally owned means a lot of different ways, but I really wanted to promote the makers. Everyone kind of has that side business, and we really wanted to take people from their Etsy shop into a brick and mortar, just because again, it would only just stimulate the vision of the Wilson Lofts. Imagine 33 new people who live downtown, and then we offer 11 different businesses opportunities to open and grow. It's really just wanting to provide that unique reason that people have to come downtown. A lot of times you can go to those small businesses that have, a retail presence online, and you can find a little bit of everything that's very similar. And so really with makers, it's a point of really supporting those small businesses at the same time, the makers that do produce something that's very unique to the maker, to the place that really brings people to the downtown.
Okay, you've got Anna in there already. Anybody else in there right now, or how is that looking?
Well, we have two different prospects. A lot of times we get a lot of people, as I call, like kicking the tires. They want to know a little bit more about what this looks like and the type of resources that come. So the very basic of means, people can open up and sign a lease on the Makers on Fifth, and they know what their rent's going to be. Normally when you open a business, I always talk about people just love to see their name on the outside of the building, but they don't think about, the insurance, they don't think about the utility costs, winter's coming. That's all kind of set in your rent here at Makers on Fifth. And, with the pop-up shop opportunities, it kind of makes it less scary for people to make that, that dive in. Jordan, her husband, came to our grand opening when we did that back in July. And, kind of just circled back and forth with him, and then finally just placed the call and said, listen, we're doing this pop-up shop opportunity. I know this is scary, but we're here to help you. So a lot of times when you're opening that business, you don't really know where to go to find the resource. And so, for one, we have a CDFI, is what we call that. It's a nonprofit that really helps people with small business loans and microloans. So like in Anna's perspective, or anyone else who's opening up, if they want to increase their inventory, let's just say they have a very small inventory set for their online store, they're going to need that resource to kind of get up and grow. So we're able to provide them low interest loans to help that happen. We're working with Pageant Business Services. That's one of our sponsors for Makers on Fifth and Clinton Culinary. They're really there to give you like a 1 hour free tutorial of where you kind of stand as a business. Most times people don't want to hear that, but at the same time, it's something that you really need to see. It's like someone who's going to punch the holes in your business plan and make sure that you're thinking about the things that you wouldn't normally be thinking about when you're opening up your business and taking that leap to really take that next level step.
It's kind of an interesting concept. So now they're an incubator. They're here on Makers on Fifth. Are they going to be there permanently, or is this just a starting step for them?
It's a starting step to grow and go, as I call it. A lot of different incubator places have different set times that people can be in business there. We aren't taking that approach. When you're ready. So we will support you through that time. A lot of times you're going to have ebbs and flows when you come into your small business. You're going to have great months. You're going to have months that are not so great. So, having a space you can always kind of rely on your fixed costs, so that way you can kind of amend your business plan and make it work for yourself, is really where Makers on Fifth and Clinton Culinary is able to flourish and provide that access to you. So let's say in the perfect scenario, we're at 100% occupancy, and we have someone like GEOME that's been there for 5 years, and they are doing really well. They're one of our stable businesses that are driving people in, which is not a bad thing. You kind of need that anchor business that's going to support the other brand new businesses that are going to be coming in, and plus she's got phenomenal storefront presence in her space. And so, depending on if we have a lot of people on our wait list, that's probably when we'd work with them and, the Downtown Clinton Alliance and other businesses in Grow Clinton, and really saying, what spaces can we work you into that you are still comfortable in, that can still support your business. So that's been successful in our past, and that's what our plan is here too.
So, Gio, what are the hours right now? And is your business somewhat seasonal? I mean, we're moving into the holidays. I would imagine that's probably good for you.
Yes, holidays are a great time for sales. Hours are still being worked out. We know we're going to be open Tuesday through Saturday, with Sunday and Monday being off. We're going to offer by appointment options as well, and then probably have like a 11 to 2 set hours, and then we're going to figure out when an evening hour situation would be. So it's still in the works. My husband and I are kind of going back and forth on what we can make work, but for now, Tuesday through Saturday for sure.
Okay, do you have a presence on social media? People can find out a little bit more about GEOME.
Yes, I started a Facebook group, GEOME and Beth Store. That's the best way to stay up to date with hours, promos, different things that's going on in the store. So,
What do you got beautiful jewelry on. I see the earrings and that. So what do you all have to offer? Necklaces, things along those lines?
yes, we have pretty much anything, pins, hairpins, earrings, rings, necklaces. We have a small assortment of men's jewelry as well. And then I do select custom work. So if there's something specific, I can also work with.
So you do all that yourself?
All of it myself, yeah.
So how time-consuming is it to make like a pair of earrings? How long would that for you to knock out a pair of earrings?
You know, I've spent 2 hours to like 15 hours. So it just kind of depends on the complexity of the job and.
So does somebody come in sometime and say, "Hey, I really want a special gift for my wife. I'm kind of thinking along these lines.
Yes.
Can you help me put together something for her?"
Oh yeah. Yep. That's having inspiration picks are really helpful, and then I kind of bring my own design aspect to that and kind of make it really unique and to the individual and the gift. So.
Okay, we got a couple of minutes left. So when you get done here, you got to head back on down to Fifth Avenue South.
I am.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
I was even I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was even adding to Anna, if anyone's looking for a unique date idea, this is a perfect opportunity to set up an appointment with Anna. And instead of the husband just kind of guessing on what what my wife likes, like this is the perfect opportunity to actually have that be a date, engage your partner, and make sure that you get exactly, and make that an experience.
Yeah.
And I was like, why wouldn't you do that? I want my husband to do that, So, I mean, it's a really great opportunity that you wouldn't normally get anywhere else. And that's what I think is great, that she provides that unique experience that really can draw people into not only her craft and learn a little bit more. I mean, I don't even know, like the experience of jewelry making, and just seeing something that comes from your mind to reality is a phenomenal experience.
I should stop in. I'm like the world's worst gift giver. I gave my wife a vase one time, but no flowers. Just a vase.
Well,
and
you go
I gave
ahead,
her
you
canisters.
schedule your appointment at GEOME and make that idea happen, and she'll love it.
And who gives canisters? I gave her some canisters.
My husband at one time got me a laptop, so I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
Sometimes you hit the miss, but
Before we let you go, you were in last time. You were talking a little bit about the project up in Mount Carroll. How's that going?
it's going well. We're actually be hosting a high school group here on Thursday. Construction is progressing. We're nearing the end of the exterior work, and the interior will be starting here soon with our Rebuild Illinois grant support. That will eventually convert into a resource center, and that we're really making movement on our big development for 51 units of rental housing. So we're on track to close that at the end of the year, and construction will begin. So again, 51 units of housing into a formerly vacant campus is going to make a huge injection of activity within that campus.
And if people want to find out more about Wilson Lofts and Makers on 5th and Clinton Culinary, how can they do that?
They can go on our website, wilson-lofts.com, and then we have business incubators. They can click on those tabs to learn a little bit more about either Clinton Culinary or Makers on 5th.
Anna, great to see you again.
nice seeing you
And if
again.
people want to find out more information about GEOME, again, how can they best do that?
Yes. On Facebook, there's a group, GEOME and Beth Store, and that's where everything, all the business stuff will be, all the announcements. And
Ladies, thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Nelson Corp Wealth Management hosts Financial Focus every Wednesday at 9:05 a.m. on KROS. We'll bring you cutting-edge news on financial